Man Up TV with Lucas and Joe, empowering you to rock out your health and your life. Today we are on part 6 of the emotional eating series, and we're talking about the work of Byron Katie and how it can be helpful in dealing with the cravings in the moment. So, Lucas, what is the work?
Yeah, the work is an incredible tool. It's a power tool
Mm-hmm.
to give you freedom in your thinking. So with cravings, we talked about in previous videos how there's like a static emotional state, a static kind of posture and breathing, and it's all, I believe it's all from static way of thinking. So limited view on the situation at hand. And this is just a series of 4 questions. And there's actually 2 parts to the work. We'll do part 1 today. And you can find out more at Byron Katie's website. Just Google the work.
Awesome.
So Joe, what we'll need for you to demonstrate this is we'll need a limiting belief or judgment
Mm-hmm.
that's persistent in your mind around something that's important to you in life.
Sure. So one belief for me is I'm a musician, just played a show on Saturday for about 30 people. I'd really like to take my music career bigger and play for thousands of people, but I have a belief that that is not possible. It's only going to be a hobby. I'm only going to play for small crowds. That's all it's going to be. And what might be another belief when a guy might be having, issues with emotional eating or cravings? What might be some beliefs he's thinking about?
Yeah, let me look for myself. So for me, like for instance, I've had a relationship with caffeine where it's like, oh, I'm never going to be productive today if I don't have my coffee,
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody around like, there's no way I'm going to have a good time tonight if I don't drink and eat
Mm-hmm.
like everybody else is drinking and eating.
Yep, definitely. Cool. So we have this limiting belief. What's the first question we ask about it?
The first question is that true?
Mm-hmm.
So Joe, is it true that you'll never ever take your music career bigger?
I mean, I know logically that anything is possible, but it's hard for me to get it sometimes at like a physical level. So I kind of believe it's not true. That's why I'm kind of struggling with it. So I might
Great.
say yes.
Thank you. So the second question is, can you know for sure that it's true? Like if you really look, could you know that thought is true? Like an absolute truth, like God would know.
Absolutely, when I think about it, absolutely, I don't know for sure that it's true because really, I don't know what could happen. So even if most of me doesn't believe it, there's still a small part of me that does believe that it's possible. So can't say it's true.
Okay, got it. So question number 3 is, um, what happens when you believe the thought? What happens when you have this desire, you
Mm-hmm.
love playing in front of people, you see yourself playing in front of more people, having a great time, maybe even making money doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and then the thought comes in like, oh, that's not going to be possible for you, Joe. What happens when you believe that thought?
Um, I get kind of sad. It brings my mood down. Don't really feel very motivated to like practice or write new music or um, do any of these things. So it really just kind of brings me down.
So when you believe this thought that's not even true, like absolutely true, it actually brings you down and
Yep.
it stops you from doing some of the actions that would be required to make it bigger, right?
And I might even go eat some sugar to like deal with the sadness too. So.
Which would be a great idea.
Yeah.
And then question 4 is, who would you be if the thought never even occurred to you? So you're loving your musical life, you're loving doing gigs, you have the desire to do more, bigger, make money, and it just never occurred to you that it's not going to happen.
I think I would just be really happy with where I'm at right now and really excited about the future and like optimistic that things are going to keep getting bigger and motivated to be in action and to be moving forward. So I'd be very motivated and energized.
Cool, cool. So I know we talked about doing this in 2 parts, but I'm just going to do the second part real quick.
Mm-hmm.
For this belief, the next part is called the turnaround. So you turn that first belief around. So what's the first thought again?
I'm never going to make it big with music.
And what's the opposite?
I'm going to make it big with music.
Okay. So in the turnaround, you just look, how could that thought be true, if not truer, than the original thought?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to make it big with music because I'm talented and I love it and I'm passionate about it and people love hearing it and a whole bunch of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So sometimes with certain judgments and beliefs, there's a lot more you can do with the turnaround, and we won't do that today. But what was that like for you, Joe?
It was got me excited right there in the moment. So it was a very positive experience. Yeah.
And what do you notice about your relationship to the thoughts, like the impact of believing the thought and what it would be like if the thought wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I just notice that, wow, it's a lot more fun to believe the turnaround thought that I'm going to make it big. That's a lot more fun. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Cool. So for those of you watching at home, remember the 4 questions are, is it true? Can you know for sure that it's true? What happens when you believe the thought? And then who would you be without it? And then you can turn it around. And I think one of the biggest takeaways from this, just conceptually, is that the negative impact is not from the external circumstances, right? It's like the negative impact is always from believing the thought. Mm-hmm. And like your work, Joe, with dudes with cancer, right? Probably a prevalent thought is I shouldn't have cancer. Mm-hmm. So the work is there. Is that true? You shouldn't have cancer? No. Yeah, it really is true. I shouldn't have cancer. This sucks. And then could you absolutely know for sure? Well, maybe, maybe not. What happens when I believe the thought? Well, then and oftentimes it's a negative spiral. Mm-hmm. Who would you be if it never even occurred to you? Like you had cancer, it never ever occurred to you that you shouldn't have it. And in this inquiry and looking, even people dealing with stuff like that have breakthroughs where their thinking becomes expansive and they start to see the impact of their thinking and really what's possible by choosing their thoughts wisely.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, that's the Work of Byron Katie. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Lucas and Joe with Man Up TV. We will catch you next time.
Peace.